Alright.
Wait, don't start yet.
I've started.
No! I have to get my snacks. Wait.
Hurry up, man. Jesus.
My
Good.
phone.
Hurry up, go get your snacks, hurry up.
My secret snacks are in here.
Oh, your secret snacks. Okay.
Hurry up.
That is one thing.
Okay.
Now I know where the good snacks are.
No!
Buyer's remorse.
Hello and welcome to Buyer's Remorse. I'm Darren.
I'm Justin.
On Buyer's Remorse, we subject each other to games that are in our libraries that we have not played yet, and we make each other play them for 60 minutes, and then report back and see if their time was a good time or a bad one. And Justin has got a game to play today. I can't remember what it was because you're like 3 behind me. I've played all my bad ones. You're catching up with me now.
You still have one to go, but okay. Yeah.
So which one are you going to go for first then?
Melissa Kay and the Heart of Gold, Collector's Edition.
Ah, the good old, not Indy Gala. Oh, no, it was. No. Yeah, it was Indy Gala. The good old Indy Gala games. I think we got this for free when they used to give away those keys all the time. But they don't do Steam anymore, do they? They just do...
DRM now,
They do DRM now. But back in the day, they did give away Steam keys. I'm pretty sure this is where we both got this from.
Right, exactly. We both got this
because I had cards, so I probably already got about 1.5 hours in, so you probably just went, oh, he's already played that one. I snuck through. I haven't played it, so...
At all.
Do tell.
Melissa Kay and the Heart of Gold, developed by SDP Games, published by KSS Limited, comes all the way back from September of 2014. It has mixed reviews, with only 189 people reviewing it. It's about $10 at base, but I suspect that this is one of those that's always on a huge sale. So I would probably say to wait for that. It's a hidden object game.
Which I love, so...
Which is why I'm kind of surprised you haven't played it already.
I've already got like 100 of them, though, that's the thing. And I'm playing one right now, which is called Adira. That's pretty good. Is it as good as Adira?
I don't know, because I haven't played Adira, and I've only played this one for an hour. This game starts off with sort of a cutscene, bit of animated. I'm just going to say it right now. The animation isn't good. It looks weird. The mouth syncing doesn't happen at all. It's just a bit odd. Graphics-wise, it looks fine. It's the actual animation of it that just looks weird. Our character, Melissa Kay, is clearly an Indiana Jones stroke Tomb Raider knockoff character.
I've seen the cover, yeah.
As soon as you get into the game and see her in her office, she's a professor of archaeology.
Mm-hmm.
And when she leaves, she's going to be wearing a fedora. The only thing I didn't see was a whip.
Right, she's got that in the bedroom.
Maybe, I don't know. Even the opening cutscene as she's traveling to, I think, Thailand, basically is just doing what the Indiana Jones movies do, where you see the plane flying over a map.
Oh, really? Yeah. Do they have the music as well?
No, they didn't go that far. They're cutting it just shy.
But it is like, so it's like the old school map with like the line being drawn across the map?
Exactly.
Yeah, wow, okay.
You even get credits as though this is a movie. Those kind of opening credits.
Does she hate snakes?
Well, I don't know. Maybe later. Haven't got that far. We are in London, 1947, when we start. And then we go to, again, what I believe is Thailand. She references going to Asia, but then the map was a bit confusing, and I was writing notes, so I might have missed when it landed in Bangkok. But because of something we're going to get later, I'm pretty sure we're in Thailand, because we get a map of Bangkok.
Okay.
There is a student she's supposed to take care of who is a young monk, but he has disappeared before she arrives.
Oh, good.
And there's this guide who has a name that I will never be able to pronounce correctly. It's spelled Deveij.
Deveij?
It might be. Her guide basically just appears and disappears all the time. And this is just within the first hour.
Is he like the tutorial man then? Like, click on these like sparkling things to do these hidden object games?
Not really. He has a totally different purpose.
Okay.
He will say, I believe, that the student has disappeared. We get all sorts of weird little notes, cryptic notes, as to what we're supposed to be doing. We are going to start off in her bedroom. You can't really do anything yet. We have to go outside. So this is one of those games. I get it. I understand it. I know it's part of this genre. But the amount of times you have to go in and out of this place, even for the tutorial section, is ridiculous. So you have to go from the bedroom out to the corridor, out to the outside, to go into a room that's the garden, to find out it's too dark, so that you have to go back to the outside, to go back to the corridor, to go back to your room, to find a broken lamp that's meant to be hanging in the garden to begin with, because of course that's where you would leave it, in the guest room dresser drawer.
Yep.
So you can put the glass in it. Oh, but you need to light it first. Guess what? There's one match in a box under the bed, but it's too far for me to reach, and I can't squeeze under there. She's not exactly a big woman. I suspect she could actually reach under the bed and get the matchbox. Right. But no, what we have to do is we have to go back outside to, by the way, total spoilers for like the first hour of puzzles. We are going to go corridor to outside to find a half-eaten bar of chocolate.
Okay.
And the half-eaten bar of chocolate we are going to use we can now see the motorcycle. So through the tutorial, things start to sparkle so that you know you can do something. Mm-hmm. So now you can click on the motorcycle, but it's not for the motorcycles because there's a gecko right there, around there. You have to entice the gecko out with this bar of chocolate.
And he's your gopher then.
From now on.
Yeah. They do that a lot in hidden object games. There's always a cat or a frog or a squirrel.
See, this is the first... I haven't done as many as you, clearly. I've only done a few. This is the first time I've had a gopher kind of character.
Right.
Like, okay. One, I don't think geckos eat chocolate. And two, seems an odd choice. I don't know why the gecko would ever come back.
A trained gecko. Yeah, that's going to be hard to come by.
It does match. There would be these kind of lizards in Thailand, but...
Well, I'm sure they've got cats in Thailand and puppies as well.
Well, it wouldn't fit in the tiniest of holes that we want the gecko to go into, I think.
Perhaps.
You get to name your pet, though.
All
Do
right.
you get to do that in others?
What did you call him?
I called him Greedy. Because he came out for a chocolate bar and was imprisoned for life from then on.
Yeah, that's it. You're mine now.
From there, you can take Greedy in and stick him under the bed, and he'll grab the matches for you. Of which, like I said, there's only one. It's kind of risky, considering you can mess up that one match. But luckily, Melissa Kay has no problems with her one match. She lights the kerosene lamp, and then has to carry it, even though it's broken and doesn't really have a handle, down to the garden to place it where it belongs.
A little bit hot?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do it.
No.
And then we are into the garden. We can see it now. We see a statue. We see a little water table with flowers on it, with one spot with a gap. So clearly we have to put one more flower in. If you're looking closely, you'll see the flower hanging from the rafters. Who knows why it's there?
Because the gecko put it there, probably.
But what we really need to do is we need to find it will say there's something missing from the statue. And so you can find it's like a spear, some sort of tall weapon that you need to put in the statue's hand.
Okay.
But that's not all, because there's still something else missing.
Uh-huh.
So you have to go back to your bedroom. I had to use a hint for this one because I would never figure this one out. Go back to the bedroom, click on the mirror. It will move aside. The statue's hat is in the guest room behind the mirror.
Of course it is.
Take that all the way back again. So again, going all the way back to the room, going all the way back to the garden. Put it on the statue. The statue now moves, stamps down twice, knocking the flower down. So now you can have the plastic flower I said it's not even a real flower, it's the plastic flower, which of course you're going to put into the water table. And here's your first real puzzle.
Okay.
You need to move the flower through the water on the table in such a way so that you don't knock any of the flowers off. If you do, it says something like, it must be weighted. I can't lose a single flower. As the flowers...
They're so heavy, yeah.
What kind of mechanism is based on the exact amount of real-life flowers you have
floating on water?
But the worst part of that one, I think, is the fact that you're looking down at it.
Mm-hmm.
You could just put the flower in the right place from the beginning, but no, they want you to put it in the water and drag it across in a way that makes no sense in real life. Once you finally get the whole system worked out and you move it slowly enough and just enough so you don't knock any flowers over, it will sink into a flower-shaped hole, and that will give you, I don't know what it's meant to be. It looks like an ancient trash can with a covered one, a dome cover, and under the dome is a globe with these buttons. You just have to move it around until the buttons appear in the circle. Press the button, and then a dragon on top moves. You find the other button, the other dragon moves up. They essentially are kissing. It opens up, and now you have I think it's hexagonal mirror and another note. There are all these little notes. Something, in this one, I think the note was, don't let her get the present, or something. So when you go back to your room, you'll see there's a present. So who's leaving the note? Who's leaving the present? None of it makes any sense. Out in the corridor, though, this is where there's a glass cabinet that if you put the mirror at the top, it will open. This is your first hidden objects puzzle.
Right.
So find all the matching pieces. They will give you a key. Mm-hmm. But keep in mind, all the pieces together build a key. How do I put the key together in such a way that it actually works and doesn't just fall apart?
Glue, of course.
I don't have any. It just works.
Oh, it just slots together.
This is one where it just works. If you look at the present inside, it is a box of soaps with one soap missing. Guess what we're going to find in the other room? So, in the locked room in the corridor, take your bear-shaped key, open the door, go in. Oh, it's so dark in here. Again. Now, I don't need the kerosene this time. What I need to go find the flashlight.
Because you can't take the lamp that you just lit. What's the problem?
But the flashlight will now be in your inventory from now on.
Ah, okay.
So you can go in, shine a flashlight on your second hidden object puzzle, putting all of them together. Honestly, really easy to find ones.
Is it like just like the classic one where it's just like the words at the bottom and then you just got to find the pictures?
No, you're matching the pictures.
Oh, it's like shadows of pictures then? Like shadows or...
It's more like it matches the picture, and then when you find it, it goes purple or whatever the background is so that you don't really see it anymore.
Okay.
But they do a lot of this taking of shapes and just putting them on so they look like they belong somewhere. Right. But a lot of times it's done in such a way it's so obvious. Mm-hmm. There's some other ones later which are not so obvious, but that's almost the other way around where it's ridiculous what they're trying to do. But in this one, this one is just so obvious. Quick. It was so fast.
Done.
It's kind of rare for me in a hidden object section to not need at least one hint to find something. Because there's usually one that's just a place I cannot figure out.
I always save that hint for the very last one on the menu. And it's just like, okay, I can't be bothered looking for them anymore.
I'm not sure if this one has a limit to hints. Maybe early game it doesn't, maybe later it does. But it seemed to just be a 30-second cooldown and then I get another hint.
Did it have like two modes when you started up? Was it like a casual mode and like a hardcore mode, or?
There might be if I went into the settings. I just played on whatever the default setting
so it doesn't prompt you to choose then? All right, okay. Maybe it doesn't. Because a lot of the hidden object games now, they're like...
Do you want a hint or no hint?
Do you want to play with unlimited hints or very limited timer, fast cooldown, or do you want to do like the kind of harder mode? And they'll even have it where it's like areas of interest won't sparkle and things. So you've really got to like just click around and look for stuff. But I always play on casual. I'm just interested in solving the kind of, not so much the hidden object parts. They don't really interest me anymore. I like the puzzle parts. And the stories are usually cheesy and stupid. I like the stories.
Yes, this is very much in tune with that.
Yeah.
From there, there's also a little chest you can find, which has a book that's wrapped up, but don't dare unwrap it or try to untie it. You need scissors first, which...
Oh, man, yeah.
I have no idea where the scissors are. I didn't find them in the hour. They're probably in a totally different level that I'll have to come back to.
Yeah, you have to go forward, backtrack, go forward again. Oh, you left something behind, and eventually you'll get the scissors.
Once you have the soap, the missing soap for the box, then you will have... There's not even... I guess there are soaps inside, but they're all flower-shaped.
Okay.
And it's just a memory game. So they'll all open up, and you have to click on the two. Once they close, you have to click on the two that match.
Right.
But there's no real time limit. There's no penalty for getting it wrong, except that you have to see the flowers again and then go from there. It doesn't start over. They don't rotate. They don't shift. I could just randomly do this in about 2 minutes faster than memorizing it.
So no punishments then for,
I didn't notice any there, no. And then between that and there's something else in the other room. The other room is one of those rooms where it's all hunting trophies. So there are animal heads on the wall and that kind of thing. So I think it's in here that we found the soap. And then in the soap box, we get a half of a picture. And the half of a picture is in the hallway. It's a little hard to see. You probably wouldn't have noticed it right away. But then you just put it up. And the prize for that is your guide comes out and starts talking to you again.
Okay. Oh, hello there. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I see that you're busy fixing the painting. Here, have this part of a map. Not even a whole map, but a part of a map of Bangkok, which is why I'm pretty sure we're in Thailand. The young monk likes to hang out at some library at some temple. And apparently is going to be on the map. But we have to find the other half of map, which is stupid. But before we can do that, we have to listen to the guide tell us what I am assuming is a bunch of traditional folklore that has to do with the story we're involved with now. About a monkey king helping out to save this woman for this man who is in love with her. And after she was released from her prison, they took the villain who had kidnapped her and took his heart and imprisoned it as well. Okay. As punishment.
So that'll be the heart of gold then?
I'm assuming so, yeah. And then he'll go away. Our guide doesn't even bother to, one, give us a full map, or two, take us to the temple.
Yeah, give us a ride.
No. You can get there, I'm sure. What you need to do is you need to take our lovely gecko, put him into a little hole in the corridor, which is now sparkling, to tell you that you can do something with it. You get a curtain string with which you can tie back a curtain to get the other half of the map.
These guys are not very organized, are they? Sounds like they just want you there so that you can do their cleaning for them.
I don't understand why I can't just take the map out from behind the curtain, why I have to tie it up. Welcome to Hidden Object Games.
Yeah.
The map is also not in order. It's chopped into strips that you now have to put in the right order. Boom, now you can fast travel to the temple. Here's one thing about this game. I'm not sure if it's meant to be played on a tablet. My suspicion is that it is, that was the original intention. You have to, at times, hold the screen down and move it over so that you can see another little section or to see what's just off to the side. And it's very awkward to do, which is why I think it must be a more tablet-friendly experience to do. Is that a normal thing?
I mean, some, like the one I'm playing right now is almost like it's a 360 thing where you can rotate around.
Wow, okay, yeah. See, the ones I've played before were, if it isn't on the screen, you don't play with it.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back to like the Ravenhurst games, like for me, those were the ones that I kind of started on. And those are just like, it's one screen, but they might have like an area where you can actually click on that and then it'll take you into a new area. But
see, you have that here, but you have to move the screen over a little bit before you can get to some of these.
Now, that does sound like either a gimmick that they've put in their game to make it like, oh, we're different from the other ones. Yeah, either do what I'm playing now, like go full 360, or don't bother. Like, what's the point of adding another inch on the sides?
And just sometimes it's so mind-boggling what the thing is, there's, for example, on this section, the temple section where I am in now, and there's a painting you can't see, nor would you be able to, but when you're clicking around there, it says, oh, it's very dark, I should use my flashlight, or I could see this if it wasn't so dark. Why have it so dark to make me use the flashlight if you're just going to remind me that that's what I need to do the second I click on it? I don't understand the logic.
Yeah. Well, that's hidden object game logic, isn't it? It's just...
Yeah, there is no real logic to this game. You have to, in this section, there are a lot of puzzles in this one. So it's a little bit better in this one. You have a safe you have to find the code for.
Okay.
You have these insects that you have to catch after you find a bug net. And that one's okay. It's a simple puzzle of moving the insects around so that they cast a glow that will fill the entire shape.
Okay.
You have one that's a really tricky timing puzzle where it's 5 cylinders with a line of jewels down it, but they each go at a different time. You basically have to click them in order so that they all light up their path at the same time.
So is it like a Simon Says puzzle?
No, it's just timed. So, for example, one of them, the jewels will line up almost immediately, but there's another one where it will take a really long time for it to come.
Okay.
So you have to figure out the right order to make them all glow their path at the same time.
Right. Gotcha.
There are 5 jewels you're going to have to find to open up this manhole into the sewer. It's like a secret tunnel.
Expensive manhole cover, yeah.
But it's meant to be a secret tunnel that you're going to have to go in.
Okay, right.
And I got to the point, so there are a few other things. I don't want to go into too much detail here, but down there is going to be the next step. I found a lighter, a stick of dynamite, and a fuse through different puzzles and things. I put it into the crack in the wall. I had it explode, and then I had a whole cutscene where Melissa's talking to her old professor, but it might also be her ex-husband. There's a whole journal full of information to help remind you of what you found, what you're supposed to be looking at. And in that journal, there's also a note of official divorce or something, but it's ripped in half, so you don't get to see the name that's at the bottom.
Okay.
As though I really care about Melissa's story and who she's divorced from.
I've never seen that in a hidden object game before.
Well,
divorce papers.
This may be your first time. You're going to get, as I said, this cutscene. He comes in. There's a bit of banter between them. He's saved her from a beam falling on her head or something. But again, the animation is just so weird. And I'm pretty sure that, what's his name, the guide, just reappears here as well.
Hey, you could have told me you were coming here. You could have given me a lift.
But the funny thing is, now this happened, I think, just after the hour, but I'm going to get into it. They work out somehow that the young monk, the one who's supposed to be her student, and the one who's gone missing, is meant to be the reincarnation of Buddha.
Okay, so there we go.
There you go.
Boom.
Hidden object games, man. That's what you gave me. I don't know what you wanted from it, but there it is.
Yeah. I think because it had it didn't have bad reviews. It's mixed, isn't it?
It's mixed, and there aren't many. It's 189 for having been out since 2014. Again, though, I suspect this game was not intended for Steam. I suspect that it was a tablet or phone game before this.
I've got no idea. At all. But yeah, I think I know what you mean about the animation. I'll probably end up playing this to get the video footage for it anyway. But I think I know what you mean. It's almost like they're like kind of cardboard cutouts that move, kind of thing. Is it like that almost?
Kind of.
I mean, I'm not talking South Park, but I mean,
no, I think it's a bit more like Adam Wolf.
Right. Yeah.
How they just are posed in different places, but they look like they were trying to make the mouth speak and do the animation that way, but it didn't work.
Right, it didn't work. Yeah. There must be some, because I've seen that. I know exactly
some sort of engine that they're all using.
They must be all using this very similar or the same engine, yeah. But just some people can use it better. So you did the hour. You're definitely going to go back and finish it, though, aren't you?
I might.
That was a really grudging might.
This story does not interest me in the slightest.
It sounds pretty bad. Yeah. I mean, at least with the other ones that I played, some of them are like fairy tales. Some of them there's monsters involved. I don't mind playing like the really cheesy stories, but some of them are just like, there's cheese, but then there's just boring, Like some of even the cheesy ones are at least interesting for some. They've got some kind of beat in them that's like, ooh, that's interesting. But yeah. When you said he's the reincarnation of Buddha, I was actually waiting for you to say that. But yeah, so you might go back then, just to kill it?
Maybe, yeah. I would only recommend this to people who really like hidden object games. You do, so I would definitely recommend it to you.
Yeah. I guess the real question would be not just would you recommend this to anyone, but would you recommend this to anyone who's played like when we played Adam Wolf? Which one? Well, obviously. Well, actually, I don't know. Which one is better?
Oh, that's a rough question. I think Adam Wolf is probably better. There's a bit less going back and forth. I mean, there definitely still is.
Do you have a map function on this game, though, where you can zip to, like, locations?
Well, I zipped to the temple, so I'm assuming that you would be able to zip
even,
back.
like, between rooms. Like, when you're in the original location, is there not a way to, like, go from garden to spare bedroom kind of thing?
Not that I
No,
found.
so you actually have to traipse through each room to get there.
Yeah,
and
so in the temple, there were, I think, 3 rooms that you were eventually able to get into.
Okay.
But when you find something in one room, and then you have to go back out and over and in to do the next thing, to get the next thing to go back out and to the right and up and to the left and in to take it back.
I think I would probably forget where I was going, man, especially if I got to an area and I was like, all right, I'm shutting it down for the night. I'd wake up the next day and I'd have to go through every single room again, looking through every single thing that's glowing. Otherwise, I'd just be lost. Oh, is there a hint button to point you in the direction of where you're supposed to be going?
Yes. So if you click on the hint, it will basically highlight
the direction.
Unless you're in the room you're supposed to be in.
And then it'll point you to where your next puzzle is. Good.
So it won't really point you in the direction, but it will highlight, for example, at the bottom of the screen, if you're in, let's just talk the main area at the beginning. Mm-hmm. So if I'm in the bedroom, the only other place I can go is the corridor. So it will highlight at the bottom, I would click corridor to go there. So it will sparkle on the corridor if that's where I'm supposed to go. Now, if corridor is still not where I'm supposed to go, and I hit hint again, it will again sparkle on outside, which is where I'm supposed to go.
Right.
So, for example, one of them, I didn't know where I was supposed to go. So, yeah, it took me from the bedroom down to the garden. And once you're in the garden, for example, if you are just missing an object. So, if you didn't find the flower that's up there and you didn't know what you're supposed to be doing and you clicked hint, there's this laser pointer that kind of comes out and will show you exactly where you're supposed to be looking.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough. That's standard fare then. That's good. It's, especially for people like me, because I just forget where I don't pay a lot of attention, especially in between puzzles, because I'm always looking for those like mini games. Those are the things that I really play those games for. But are the mini games good though? There's the real question for me.
There are a couple that are okay. These are very casual though.
Right.
So don't expect them to really be mind blowing. And the timing puzzle is tricky just because timing puzzles are tricky.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's anything, at least thus far, that's really going to hurt your brain.
Right. So, tags then.
Well, hidden object game, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Puzzles, I guess, because there are some. Indy ripoff. Indy being Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Not the type of game. Yeah.
No.
So this is an Indy ripoff.
If you must.
I must.
I would say this. $10 is kind of a lot for this kind of game.
Sounds like a lot, actually.
But again, I suspect since we got it for free, that it's something that's going to be bundled with a bunch of other hidden object games, or free at some point, or really cheap at some point. If you like this kind of hidden object game, then yeah, go for it. But it's probably not the best of the bunch. And that's all I'll probably say about that.
So, buyer's remorse or confirmation?
Well, it was free, I'm pretty sure, for us. If I got it for 10, I'd be annoyed. But it's a hidden object game. It has all the stuff you would expect, at least that I would expect in a hidden object game. So, yeah, I expected it to be far worse based on the mixed reviews. But so far, hidden object games are just not my favorite thing, so maybe I have a low bar for them to achieve. It works, the mechanics work, and though it doesn't make any sense logically, it has a kind of game logic that works. Confirmation.
Buyer's confirmation.
What game did you play for this episode?
Shogun Total War 2, or Total War Shogun 2, or...
I think Total War comes first.
Yeah, Total War Shogun.
I looked in your library and saw this, a Total War game, and I just couldn't believe my luck because, well, it's the perfect game to make you play.
Only this game could make fucking ninjas boring. I took it for the cards, and look at me today. I'm definitely paying for it.
All this and more in the next episode of Buyer's Remorse.